What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over ranking our best players right now in college football 25 Ultimate Team. And a lot of the guys you see on this list are going to be super expensive. But that's part of it, right? Some of the top guys should be expensive, and that is exactly what they are. We're also going to be breaking them down. For example, when we get to Darqueze Dennard, look at exactly what the card does give you. Let's start off with Noah Williams. And again, please smash that subscribe button. I got Noah Williams from grinding my levels today. I got this card, and honestly, I really like this card. I like this card. He fits kind of what I want to do defensively. I was spelling his name wrong, but he's got 91 speed. He's 6'1". He's got 92 zone coverage. Can play a little bit of man coverage. Good change of direction. More so if you like zone corners. Noah Williams is going to be an absolute beast. I'm throwing him at A tier. The problem is a guy like Dennard is going to be just a little bit faster. So when you're comparing Dennard to Williams, who is the better option? Well, honestly, it's tough. Williams is a little bit taller. Dennard's a little bit faster. Both cards are deserving of A tier, I think, is what I've claimed to the conclusion of. Both cards can absolutely play at a really high level. Cameron Rucker up next. It's a tough one. Like, I think the card's good, but does he do anything that really stands out as being like next level good to me? Or Kamon Rucker, I should say. I don't know. He's a really good right end, but there's nothing that really stands out. Yes, he can get after the quarterback. Yes, his block shed is fine. He's fast. I like him at the right end position, but when you're talking about the best cards in the game, it's nothing that really stands out. Jaquez Hunter at the running back position is a beast. The one thing about him is he's a power back, and that's about it. Isn't gonna spin, isn't gonna juke. Those are not things Rucker is gonna, or that Hunter is gonna do at a super high level. He also can't catch the ball that well out of the backfield. If he could do those things, he'd be higher, but because of those lack ofs, he goes in B tier. Quinnen Williams. I actually like Quinnen Williams. Do wish the card might be a little taller, but the card is really, or not taller, faster. But the card is really solid. 6'3", 83 speed, 83 acceleration, really good power move, really good block shed as well on the interior. Gonna stop the run, gonna get after the quarterback. I think he's one of the best defensive tackles in the game, throwing him at B tier. The running back I used this weekend in Gauntlet was Taj Brooks. And here's what I want to say about Taj Brooks. He is not the fastest running back in the game, but his juke move is solid. His trucking is fantastic. He catches the ball well out of the backfield. He does a lot of things well. I'm going to put him at the same tier as Hunter. I just wish he was a little bit faster. I mean, the 88 speed at this stage of the game is just kind of crazy. Jay Higgins, I'm going to throw it A tier. I think when you talk about the top linebackers in the game, you got to mention the name of Jay Higgins. 88 speed, 89 acceleration, really good tackler, really good hit power. But the thing about it is I forced like 0 fumbles today, and I don't know how, I don't know why. Should have forced more, but Jay Higgins is an absolute beast. 6'2", one of the better users in the entire game. Milroe, although I personally didn't have that much success with Milroe, I'll throw him at A tier. I still think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the game. I just personally didn't have success with him. The card is fantastic, throws a tight spiral, great speed, great across the board. Just wish the throw accuracy was maybe slightly higher. I'm still going to go A tier. Jack Sawyer, he's a better end than Rucker. I mean, when you're comparing Sawyer to Rucker, Sawyer is the better option. Jack Sawyer is an absolute beast. Great block shed, great power move, great tackler, great speed. One of the best ends in the entire game. Jack Sawyer, borderline S tier. Francis, here's the thing. Like, Francis is fine. The problem with Francis is he's a power right tackle. I throw the ball more than I run the ball, so he doesn't fit what I want to do. And he's just a mediocre right tackle. And he's over 100,000 coins. He's not worth the amount of coins that he's going for. Jermod McCoy up next. And here's the thing for McCoy. It really comes down to this, and I'll talk about it a lot during my videos. Do you play man coverage or do you play zone coverage? If you play man coverage, McCoy is just as good as these guys. He's better than these guys. If you play zone coverage, these guys are going to be better. So it really comes down to what you personally do on the field. I'm going to throw them all at A tier. Hunter Henry, I really like Hunter Henry. The problem is when you talk about some of the better other tight ends in the game, it's tough to really, hype up the card. Now, I know people are going to be mad, Ty, you left out Xavier Restrepo. He'd be at S tier, just throwing that out there. And some of the other free cards, like the upgraded Cooper Flanagan, Wyatt Eckler, they are not going to be on this either. So watch their position tier list, because that's really where they're going to be. Santos, I'm going to throw him at D tier as well, because when you're ranking these cards, kickers and punters, they're not valuable. The only card that's going to be at F tier might be Tory Taylor. And he's from Iowa. So it pains me to put a guy like Tory Taylor in F tier because he's from Iowa. I like Tory Taylor. He's been a beast for the Bears. However, I got to. I don't really have a choice. Punting is not winning in college football ultimate team. Kenneth Walker, I think, is a more complete back than Brooks and Hunter. And it's weird because I don't run Kenneth Walker right now, although I really do like the card in college football ultimate team. 90 speed, 89 acceleration, can break tackles, can juke move. Catching isn't as high as Taj Brooks, but everything else Kenneth Walker does at an insanely high level. Jameis Winston. I absolutely love Jameis Winston. And I'm going to go as far as to say, I think Jameis Winston is as good, if not better, than Jalen Milroe. A lot of people are going to disagree, but he throws the ball so well for me to put him up here at A tier. I do not care what other people think. Jameis Winston for just over 100,000 is a steal. He is an A tier quarterback. Mitchell Evans, F or D tier. I don't like Mitchell Evans. There's so many better tight ends. The fact that like Hunter Henry is on the same tier as Mitchell Evans is ridiculous. Mitchell Evans stinks on this game. Jabbar Muhammad. Here's the thing about Jabbar Muhammad. When you're comparing him to Denard, when you're comparing him to some of those other corners, I don't think he's quite as good. Only 5'10". Maybe not going to do some of those things that some of those other guys do on the field at that high of a level. But the one thing about Jabbar Muhammad is this. He has the Oregon team chemistry. So if you use Jabbar Muhammad, you're not going to have to put it on him. But I do like all these other corners slightly more than Muhammad, if we're not specifically talking about that. Walter Nolan. Name a better defensive lineman in the entire game than Walter Nolan. 84 speed, 85 acceleration, great finesse move, great power move, great block shed. I think Nolan is slightly better than Quinnen Williams. Slightly. A little bit quicker, a little bit faster. Everything else, I think obviously you can hype up the card you want to hype up, but for me, that's where I'm at with the two cards. I do think that Walter Nolan is just slightly better. Ricky White III, a really good wide receiver on this game. He'll go up, or he goes up and down in price. So like when, you know, the what is it, Friday drop happens, Ricky White's price goes up. Comes down, and then over the course of the next week, his price falls. Kind of an interesting card. Keep an eye on him, but I'm going to throw him at B tier. Really do like the card. Landon Jackson. This is a card that you guys can get if you have enough trophies in Ultimate Team, and he's the guy I would get. 88 speed, 89 acceleration. Power move's not that great, but block shed is really solid. The thing about this card is he is 6'7" on the field. So I don't really know how I feel about Landon Jackson. Is he as good as some of these other ends in the game? Like, let's say, let's just throw out like a K'Mon Rucker. No, he's not. But he's still a good, solid card, C tier. Ualungale up next. He's fine at this stage. I don't know. I just feel like at this stage there's better cards than Mateo in the game. 89 speed, 90 acceleration, good power move, solid block shed, 6'5". He is a beast. And he's, you know, just as good as like a K'Mon Rucker, but outside of that, he doesn't do anything that crazy. Clay Matthews is a beast on this game, and he's at A tier. Clay Matthews is a card that if you've got an absolutely incredible card on the game. I mean, he is really, really, really good on this game. The thing for me with Clay Matthews is, you know, he's just a complete card. I think that's why I really like him more, you know, than a lot of these other cards is when I look at Clay Matthews, he can play in the pass. He can get after the quarterback. He literally does everything at an insane level in college football ultimate team. That's why he's got to be A tier. Next up, guys, we do see the wide receiver Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase is one of the better wide receivers in the entire game. And I know the wide receiver position is stacked right now. But the thing I like most about him is he's got 91 speed. He's 6 foot tall. He runs incredible routes. I really do like this Jamar Chase. His spin move, juke move isn't that great. But I do think he is one of your best wide receivers in the entire game. Not the best. I think there are better wide receivers in the entire in the game right now. But I do think Jamar Chase is up there as being one of the better options. Next up, Diego Pavia. Look, I don't hate Pavia at all. It just comes down to this, and I'm not hating on Pavia whatsoever. I think at this stage, we've got better and better quarterbacks. Pavia is good, but that 24 throw accuracy is crazy. I mean, some of the guys that I don't love have it at like, you know, 50 or 60 or whatever it is. His is 24. And I feel like because of that, I can't be as high as I want on Pavia. I don't mind Pavia. I think Pavia is really, really, really good, really solid. But because of that 24 throw accuracy, I can't be any higher on him than B tier. The card's good, but that leaves a lot to be desired. Eli Stowers. When this card came out in Eli Stowers, I said to myself, he's going to be the best tight end in the game for a while. But we just kept seeing better and better and better tight ends in the game. I still think he's B tier, but I do think he's the same level as a guy like Hunter Henry. And Hunter Henry's even faster. Stowers is probably a better route runner, so I'm going to put them both at B tier. Braxton Miller, he's an A tier quarterback. I mean, you're going to have some A tier quarterbacks on this list, and so far we've got Milroe, Winston, and Braxton Miller. I like all of the cards, and I'm going to organize these guys quick for you guys so, it's easier to look at here. But the thing for me when I'm looking at Braxton Miller is this. He's going to have as good a speed as Milroe. His spin move, juke move is incredible. I loved Braxton Miller when I had the card. He was an absolute beast. Jonathan Jefferson, not as good as Jamar Chase. He's not as fast. He is a B tier option. Ryan Williams, he's B tier, and it pains me to put Ryan Williams at B tier, but at this stage, I have to. The problem with Ryan Williams is outside of his speed, he doesn't do that much well. He can't, once he gets the ball, he can't really make plays in the open field. Speed kills for Ryan Williams, but that's all he gives you on the field. Next up, I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. Negata, I think, is how you pronounce it. I don't know exactly. 84 speed, 85 acceleration, good power move, good block shed, an absolute beast of a card. I haven't used this card, but he's right up there with Walter Nolan. Again, I don't have the card, I haven't used him, but he's right up there. Joe Burrow, he's going to throw the ball better than anybody on this game. But he can't really run. He's got 82 speed. So for me, I'm going to put him slightly lower. If you want a guy like Burrow to throw the ball, well, just get Jameis Winston. Yes, Burrow's throwing the ball wise. He's going to be better, but that's about it. Braylon Edwards up next. My question to you guys with Braylon Edwards would be this. How good truly is he? I know he's good, but, compared to some of these other guys we got, how good is he? 6'3", 91 speed. I do think he probably gets into A tier with Jamar Chase, but don't think the card's like game-breaking good because he's not. Terrell Suggs, I'm going to go B tier with Terrell Suggs. And it pains me to do it, but he's not the best left end in the game. Jack Sawyer is better side by side than Terrell Suggs. Say what you want, he is. Caleb Johnson is RB1, the best running back right now in college football Ultimate Team. Now, the sad part about Caleb Johnson is the last time I checked his price, he was insanely expensive. I don't know what his price is right now. I guess I could check it really quick, and I'm going to for this video. But his speed, combined with his trucking, combined with his good spin, good juke, is the reason Caleb Johnson might even be S tier. I don't know. I'm going to throw him at S tier for now. I don't necessarily love it, but he is the best running back in the game. The only one up is 600,000 coins, so just kind of take that for what it's worth. Nick Nash, I'm going to throw at C tier. I don't love Nick Nash. Maybe he's not. If Jonathan Jefferson is B tier, I feel like Nash has to be B tier as well. The problem with the card is his 89 speed, though. He's just not super fast, but he does catch the ball extremely well. He'll be B tier. I can see that for the card. Shedeur Sanders, is he B tier or is he A tier? That's the question I have for Shedeur Sanders. Now, I'll start with this with Sanders. Throwing the football, he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the entire game. He's got 86 speed. But that throw accuracy isn't great. To me, he reminds me a lot of Jameis Winston. That's who Sanders reminds me of. But, guess what? Winston's probably going to throw the ball better. I'll put Sanders at A tier, but don't think the card's perfect. Dismukes, he's going to be an offensive lineman. I actually have it C tier. I will not have an offensive lineman above Dismukes. He is the best offensive lineman in the entire game. But, he's still C tier because they can only do so much. Rondale Moore, the best wide receiver in the game right now. Maybe outside of Deshaun Jackson. A tier. This card's an absolute stud, though. Can't put him at S tier, but Rondale Moore is a stud. Jalen Walker, the best outside linebacker in the game, right there with Clay Matthews. Walker's going to get after the quarterback better. Matthews is going to play coverage better, so it just depends on what you're wanting there. Marvin Harrison Jr. A tier. Again, just a fantastic wide receiver. He's better than Jamar Chase and Braylon Edwards as well. Luke Kuechly. I got to go A tier, because there's a better linebacker in the game. But Luke Kuechly's an absolute beast. Jared Verse, he's good. Not necessarily worth the coins, but he is really, really good. I do have to throw him at A tier because he is that good in college football Ultimate Team. Jack Velling, A tier. Jack Velling is the reason that guys like Hunter Henry can't be at A tier. He is just the better option. Deshaun Jackson, A tier. And as I put Deshaun Jackson at A tier, I want you guys to realize why it's incredibly important for you guys not to, hold on to a ton of value at the wide receiver position. With Rondale Moore, Jamar Chase, Braylon Edwards, Deshaun Jackson, all of these cards are going to go down in price eventually. So be pretty careful if you do hold on to any of these cards right now. in the game. Manti Te'o, he's S tier. The best user in the entire game. By far and away the best linebacker in the game. I don't care. There's not going to be that many players at S tier. Manti Te'o is one of them. Just an absolute stud of a card. Trevor Lawrence, probably the best overall quarterback in the game. Now, for Trevor Lawrence, is he worth the coins he's going for? Probably not. He is an LTD, so I would phrase it like this. If you want Trevor Lawrence, it wouldn't be a bad time to get him. Like I said, I do think he's the best quarterback in the game. When you look at his, passing stats with his running stats, there's no quarterback that's going to do it better than Trevor Lawrence. 87 speed, great throw accuracy, the best quarterback in the game. One thing about it, though, he does not throw a tight spiral. That bugs me. When I've used quarterbacks in the past that don't throw a tight spiral, it bugs the crap out of me. So just realize that for Trevor Lawrence, he does not throw a tight spiral, which could hold his value back slightly. D'Angelo Pons up next, really good at the cornerback position, way better in zone coverage and man coverage. One thing about Pons is he's way undersized. I think the card's only 5'9", 5'8" on the field, so is super short, is definitely something to think about. But 92 speed acceleration with the 94 zone coverage is just absolutely crazy for Mr. Pons. Next up, Charles Woodson. This card's going to go in S tier. When this card becomes available, he is going to be by far and away the best cornerback in the game. And here's the thing for Woodson. Again, I run a lot of zone coverage. He's got 93 zone, but he's got 96 man coverage. He is going to be a pure lockdown cornerback in this game. There's not going to be anybody better than Charles Woodson at that respective position. So you want Charles Woodson. He's an absolute beast of a corner in this game. Next up, Luke Lachey. I got to throw Luke Lachey at S tier. I got to. I don't think he's worth the coins, but he is an S tier caliber tight end on this game. And I can't, he's undeniable. It is undeniable. He is that level of good in this game. Great speed, gold cutter, gets open if somebody plays man coverage. Just an absolute beast of a card. Benjamin Morrison, last but certainly not least, I do think he's good enough to put him at S tier. I do. And is he as good as Charles Woodson? No. But he's night and day different than any other corner at A tier. And here's the thing about Morrison. I have the card, and I absolutely love him. I play more zone than man, but even in man, he's fine because he's got 93 speed and acceleration at 6 feet tall. Morrison is an absolute beast of a card. That's going to wrap it up for my best card tier list. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments, guys. Drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.